The laughter in the executive garage was sharp, cruel, and entirely directed at the man holding the diagnostic computer. "Fix this engine and I'll marry you," Chloe Sterling sneered, tapping her $1,000 heel against the concrete floor. Her executive team chuckled on cue. The mechanic, Marcus, didn't look up from the engine bay of her $250,000 sports car. He just wiped his hands on a clean rag, his movements calm and precise. "Your marriage proposal isn't necessary, ma'am," he said quietly. "But your engine will be fixed in 20 minutes, Chloe laughed again. 20 minutes? The dealership said it needs a whole new engine. Marcus finally met her eyes. The dealership was wrong. He turned back to the engine. And 20 minutes later, he would make her eat every condescending word. The air in Sterling Motors' executive garage smelled of expensive perfume and arrogance. Chloe Sterling, the 35-year-old CEO who'd inherited the automotive empire, stood surrounded by her sycophants. Marcus worked methodically. His coveralls were spotless, his tools laid out with surgical precision. He'd been specially called in because the dealership's best technicians had failed to diagnose the mysterious engine knock in Chloe's limited edition hypercar. "Are you even certified to work on this vehicle?" Chloe demanded, examining her manicure. Marcus didn't look up from the engine computer. "I helped design this engine, ma'am," one of the executives snorted. "Sure you did. And I designed the space shuttle." The truth was, Marcus had indeed been on the engineering team that developed the revolutionary combustion system. He'd left the corporate world to open his own shop, preferring wrenches to boardrooms. Chloe circled him like a shark. The dealership quoted $80,000 for an engine replacement. "Can your little shop even afford the parts?" "Won't need new parts," Marcus said calmly. "Just the right knowledge." He found the problem in 3 minutes. A manufacturing defect in the variable compression system that only someone who understood the original design would recognize. "Your engineers used the wrong alloy in the connecting rod. Bearings," he told Chloe. "They're degrading under high RPMs. It's not a design flaw. It's a materials error." Chloe's smile was condescending. "And I suppose you can fix that in 20 minutes with your magic toolbox?" That's when Marcus made his quiet promise. 20 minutes. And you'll have learned something about judging people by their coveralls. While Marcus worked, Chloe took calls, barking orders and making million-dollar decisions. Her team alternated between watching him and checking their watches. 15 minutes, one executive announced loudly. Marcus didn't rush. His hands moved with the fluid grace of someone who understood metal the way musicians understand music. He replaced the faulty bearings with upgraded components he'd developed himself. 10 minutes, Chloe smirked. "Should I call my wedding planner?" The other executives laughed, but it was starting to feel forced. There was something about Marcus's quiet confidence that was getting under their skin. With 2 minutes left, Marcus closed the engine cover. "Start it up." Chloe rolled her eyes but slid into the driver's seat. She turned the key. The engine roared to life, smooth, powerful, purring like the engineering masterpiece it was supposed to be. The executives fell silent. Chloe's smirk vanished. Marcus handed her the diagnostic computer. "Perfect compression across all cylinders." The knock is gone. He then handed her a business card. "That'll be $500. And you might want to have a recall issued. Every one of these engines has the same defect." Chloe stared at the smooth-running engine, then at Marcus. For the first time, she actually saw him, not as the help, but as the man who'd just saved her company from a catastrophic recall disaster. 1 week later, Chloe Sterling walked into Marcus's modest but impeccably organized shop. No entourage, no attitude. "I checked the manufacturing records," she said, her voice different, softer. "You were right. Every engine from that batch has the defect." Marcus continued organizing his tools. "I know. We're issuing a recall. It's going to cost us $20 million. She paused. "It would have cost twice that if the failures had started happening to customers." Marcus nodded. "Probably." Chloe looked around the shop. "At the framed engineering degrees from MIT. At the photos of Marcus with racing teams. At the patent certificates on the wall. Why are you working here?" she asked, genuine curiosity in her voice. You could be running our R&D department. Marcus finally looked at her. I prefer fixing things to talking about fixing things. He handed her an invoice. That'll be $500 for the diagnosis. The repair was complimentary. Chloe didn't reach for her checkbook. Instead, she said something utterly unexpected. I was wrong. About everything. The way I treated you, it was unacceptable. Marcus studied her. The arrogance was gone. In its place was something resembling humility. Apology accepted, he said. Now about that $500, 6 months later, the automotive world was buzzing about Sterling Motors' new performance division, headed by Marcus Johnson, the mechanic-turned-engineering director who had revolutionized their quality control. Chloe had offered him the job 3 times. He'd finally accepted on one condition. He could keep his shop open for when I need to remember what real work feels like. The executive who had snorted at Marcus now reported to him. The culture at Sterling Motors was changing, less arrogance, more excellence. One evening, Chloe stopped by Marcus's shop. He was teaching automotive skills to inner-city kids through a program he'd started. Still fixing things? She asked. Always, he said, wiping his hands. Just expanding the definition of what needs fixing. She smiled, a real smile, not the corporate one. That marriage proposal? It was the stupidest thing I've ever said, Marcus laughed. You were right about one thing, though. What's that? He gestured around the shop, at the kids learning, at the engines waiting to be healed. Some things are worth committing to for life. He picked up a wrench and went back to work. Not just fixing engines anymore, but fixing the system that had almost broken him. And doing it all with the quiet confidence of a man who knew his worth long before anyone else recognized it.